Did you know that you can use ChatGPT on macOS as a desktop app? This is something I just learned. So let's dig into it. Hey, what's up? This is Paul Solt from Super Easy Apps. I'm an iOS and macOS app developer. I'm working on some apps, and I wanted to take a look at ChatGPT on macOS. So you can work with apps on macOS. I think it's just limited to a few types of apps. I'm not entirely certain. So it has to be a compatible app, and it looks like Xcode, TextEdit, iTerm, Terminal, Code. There's an extension, it looks like, for Code in order to make that work, and the others, it just sort of works. And I think it's using accessibility or something like that. So it looks like you can then mouse over and see what content ChatGPT will include in your message. And then once you hit send, ChatGPT will reply with any additional content and the selection from Work with Apps. And you can see what it's looking at. So this becomes part of your chat history. And then I think there's ways of like doing temporary questions. I'm not sure exactly how that works. So this says it's going to include the full content of the open editor panes in the foremost window up to a truncation limit. And then if you select text in the editor, it will focus on that selection. The full content of the pane is still included as context. So whatever is in that open window appears to be visible to ChatGPT. When you're working with terminals like iTerm, it's going to include the last 200 lines of open panes. And if you select text, it'll focus on that and includes neighboring text up to a truncation limit. So you can see what apps are compatible. And then you can just flip off the switch. Like the one thing that scares me is running this now more app-wide. You give it full permission. What else is it looking at? Like, is this really turning the switch off? Like that's, I'm a little hesitant. I would not do this for critical things. And it looks like enterprise admins can toggle this. And then will it use the content to train? So you can, so this says content included from working with apps is part of your account's chat history and works in the background to provide more helpful answers. They may use content to improve their model performance, and you have control over your data on how it's stored and used. You can easily choose whether your conversation can be used to improve their training model by toggling the improve the model for everyone. So let's take a look at that. And then if you enable temporary chat, your conversations with ChatGPT will not be saved in your GPT account or used for OpenAI models. They do not use content sent by customers to our business offerings, such as the API or ChatGPT Enterprise, to improve the model performance. Okay. So that's sort of the synopsis or the background. I don't know how to do a temporary chat. So it's a temporary chat. Okay, so it looks like it's a checkbox. They'll keep it for 30 days. It won't remember. Okay, so that's the temporary thing to understand. I just don't know if it's going to be looking at other things. Like that's my biggest question of letting AI just sort of like run on my computer. Let's see what it looks like. So here is ChatGPT on your desktop. I'll have a link for both of these links down below. And so basically you can just open it up. Instead of command space, they're mapping it to the option key. So it's option space to pull open ChatGPT. For some reason, I can't say it tonight. And you can download it on macOS and Windows. It looks like there's some asterisks for macOS, so I don't know what that is yet. So that's how you can start it on either platform. So if you're on Mac or on Windows, you can talk to it. You can take screenshots. It looks like pasting a screenshot. Okay, so you're physically going to take a screenshot. Asking for insights from data. That's kind of interesting. You can upload files. You can search the web. You can ask it anything. So getting feedback on your writing, but don't rewrite it. That's kind of interesting. Cool. Hands-free working is interesting. So advanced voice mode on your desktop. I think that's limited, at least on mobile it is. So I don't know if there's going to be a limit on that. I ran out of it when I was playing around with it. So you need to be a ChatGPT Plus or team member to try it out. And then enterprise and EDU users will have it in the next few weeks. Okay. And it can only run on macOS 14 with Apple Silicon. So what do I have installed? 14. So you need to have Sonoma or you need to have Sequoia in order to run it. And you may or may not have access to this on your work machine. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm paying for this. So I should be able to just use this. So let's jump on over. I just dragged ChatGPT to my applications folder and then I found it here. So I opened it up and this is it running right now. And then I had to enable accessibility. So this is under accessibility, allow applications below to control your computer. This allows ChatGPT to control the computer, but that can do a lot of things. Like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know where the limit is. So that's the ChatGPT. And then if you want to select, you can like do different things here. So this is how we select an application. So I enabled it, I think, for, oh, and here's some more apps that it can work with, but these are inactive because they're not open, I think. So if I hit the plus button, now it says that it's working with my apps. Let's close out some of these things. So I've got my super easy slides application that I'm working on an update for. And I just made a new test flight build. So I'm playing around with some snapping and I just did a video. That keyboard shortcut's not working. Okay. So I'll have to fix my keyboard shortcuts here. So this lets me run windowed mode that I now have snapping. And I've been using ChatGPT to sort of help with some of the logic so I could get these snapping guides that would allow me to then cycle through some notes on the screen. So that one view is just like making this window ridiculously large. And so what I'm struggling with, and I don't know if it can help me on this, but I tried to establish, I think in here, the width for the slides, and text clipping or multi-line text does not seem to be impacted by the max width. And so I'm having to set the width to get the view that I want. Like I don't want that when I run this and I've got a really long title like this, I want this to be multi-line. You can see it's multi-line here, and I'm trying to set the max width to make that smaller, and it's just messing up. The other thing I tried unsuccessfully is getting it so that I can toggle which screen is going to be my main screen when I go full screen. That is one thing it has not figured out. I think I just need to pass it in when I initialize it, but every time I've asked them to do that, they get it wrong. So I'm not sure what I would ask it right now, but let's see if it can help us with that window sizing issue. So if we have this open, we do Option spacebar, it's going to bring open ChatGPT right here. And it is paired with Xcode. So I guess it's looking at accessibility or something for the open panel. You can always stop it right here. Whether that actually stops it, I don't know. But I'll assume it does. I might quit it just to make sure that it's not running when I don't want it reading everything that I'm doing. It looks like clicking here also opens it, and there's some settings here to customize more things. Looks like it unpairs apps automatically after 15 minutes. Okay, so help me make my title slide have a max width that will cause the text to go multi-line instead of clipping. For some reason, the max width is ignored if I try to use it with min width to establish a min and max size. What am I doing wrong? All right. Behavior can be overridden by the layout behavior of the parent container or modifiers further down the view hierarchy. So it's going to give me, can I resize this? So what's it going to suggest? And that's going to be way too small. So it's saying that this maybe is the problem I'm having. The layout system prioritizes filling the available space according to the parent container's constraints, which might override the text size. It's better to only use max width and manage the minimum width through other means. So the problem I have with that is that when I run my slideshow in this overlay format, I want to have a min width that establishes sort of a normal shape for these little sizes of cards, because right now they're changing sizes a lot. And that's particularly unwanted, especially if I'm going to be over on the right side. All of these different sizes is problematic if you want to have like a fixed size. And so I'm wondering if I can somehow figure out a way to get that to actually enforce it, because this is ridiculous. This is ridiculously long. I don't want it that long. I want it to be multi-line. And so I had put in some stuff to do this. So am I going to have to copy? Do you insert the code? Like, I don't know what the limits are when working with this. Oh, that's going to be weird. So it's going to set up a max width infinity with a center alignment. Why would it do that on top of it? Is that trying to fill the space? Maybe that's what I need to do. I'm still not sold that this is the right solution. But this, maybe. So I had stashed some changes that I don't know if I want to unstash them. That I already done some of this stuff. And like I could get it to sort of work. The problem is I have to change font sizes, so I need access to my settings, and I don't have that at this level. So let's run this. The only thing that I think is interesting is this idea. So there, like it's multi-line, but it's wider than it should be. Which is odd. So what did I tell it to do? Oh, it's doing two different things here. One of those is bigger than the other. Okay, so this, it's doing, I think, the sizing that I've requested with the padding. This other notion, I think it's totally going to fail, but I think it's worth a shot to see what it does. Because I didn't think about stacking it. And currently we're doing a static width, which works. This causes it to go to the next line. But when I went to max width, that's where I ran into issues. So let's see if this behaves any differently with a max width. Nope. Okay, so that doesn't help our situation here. It is, see, this one is going to the next line here. And it's going to the next line here. It is not going to the next line here. And I'm wondering if that's like an auto layout constraint issue. Or something like that. Okay, so what else can ChatGPT do for me? Can you make a feature here? Make a feature to select the main screen that gets passed in for a multi-monitor display. Okay, so let's see what this does. I'm going to read a line. Oh boy. type a number. Okay, so I want a button to toggle which display is shown as a potential screen, and then pressing the button again will go to the next screen. No text inputs, just one button to switch, like Keynote does. So for this, it's going to have to make a new window. It's not aware that I'm using Swift UI elsewhere in the app. And so it's only giving me AppKit logic for this button, but I do not want this button on this UI. Okay, so that's a little exploration into ChatGPT on desktop working with Xcode. I'm still having to copy and paste. I guess I didn't expect that. I expected it to actually do something. But it looks like for me to actually use this, maybe it helps a little bit on the back and forth. I think working with cursor probably is more promising than working here. Oh, okay, here's that temporary chat option to hide some of this stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. That was a little initial exploration into ChatGPT on desktop. If this was interesting or you learned something, hit the like button. Thanks for watching. I'm still playing around with these tools. I'm on the fence whether they're useful or not. Like, I think it's good for prototyping. Obviously, it didn't fix the one issue that I had, and to fix it is going to take a lot more work. I sort of know what works off the top of my head from playing around with it, but I'm trying to understand why I can't set a minimum and maximum size and have the text size to fit. So that could be because I'm bridging the gap between AppKit and Swift UI for that one view. So when we are showing this is an NS panel that is hosting the Swift UI view. Versus this is all Swift UI view, and it seems to respect the size there. So maybe there's an auto layout constraint that I need to set up in my hosting view that I'm not currently setting up properly. Or maybe there needs to be a max size in here that's going to cause the UI to properly work. Maybe I just need an auto layout constraint, a max size. Maybe. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.